Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Colleagues from media, I am deeply honored to be sitting here today alongside Dr. Maki Hayashikawa, the Director of UNESCO Office, Jakarta, Indonesia, and Dr. Roger Jr. Chao, Assistant Director, Head of Education, Youth and Sport, ASEAN Secretariat. We would like to provide you with the latest updates from the highly significant Southeast Asia Policy Dialogue event hosted by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia on the 25th and the 26th of July 2023. This year marks a historical moment for Indonesia with the appointment of our nation country to assume the ASEAN chairmanship. It serves as a golden opportunity to further solidify Indonesia's leadership in the global efforts to transform the education system, especially following last year's G20 presidency, in which we successfully chaired its education working group. Indeed, this leadership coincides with a time of unprecedented complexities due to the lingering impacts of the pandemic. Nonetheless, in the face of the global health and economic crisis, the nation's determination remains steadfast in addressing the needs of our young children, especially in the realm of early education and care. As a form of our commitment to address related issues with early childhood care and education, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology of the Republic of Indonesia convened the Southeast Asia Policy Dialogue from the 25th to 26th of July 2023, focusing on the pivotal theme of transforming early childhood care and education in Southeast Asia. The event seeks to address the region's challenges amidst the ongoing crisis, with Indonesia showcasing a strong commitment to drive positive change in ECCE. The event also marks a significant and historical milestone for both Indonesia and all fellow ASEAN member states in our efforts to accelerate ECCE transformation, especially in the context of the global learning crisis worsened by COVID-19. In the post-pandemic era, expanding children's access to high-quality early childhood care and education as part of the transformation agenda takes center stage as a main priority for the Indonesian government, considering the powerful potential of early childhood care and education in changing the lives of our children. It lays the foundation of personal success and sustainable society. Being that in case, the expected outcome and objective of this event resonates with the global spirit in realizing the Sustainable Development Goals Target 4.2. The pandemic exposed vulnerabilities in our education system, including limited access to quality learning, inequality across different socioeconomic backgrounds, and learning poverty that hindered our students from gaining meaningful knowledge during years of schooling. At the same time, the pandemic has also presented an unprecedented opportunity for us to innovate and accelerate progress towards a more robust system. Countries all across the world are working on the efforts to accelerate program quality, leverage the use of technology for interactive learning, and integrate social-emotional development in early learning. This transformation has encouragingly led to a more inclusive, resilient, and adaptable ECCE services. We equally recognize the pivotal role of ECCE teachers as a pillar of high-quality education. Hence, the Indonesian government is dedicated to improving their competencies and capabilities. Among the noteworthy initiatives launched by the Indonesian government is the Emancipated Learning, or Merdeka Belajar campaign, one of them with a specific focus on facilitating a smooth transition from early childhood education to primary education. This forward-thinking program aims to ensure a seamless continuation of young children's learning experience, bridging the gap between early learning and primary education. Furthermore, the Indonesian government places significant emphasis on multi-sector participation and collaboration as a means to accelerate the implementation of high-quality ECCE initiatives. Engaging various sectors will foster comprehensive solutions and sustainable advancement in ECCE across Southeast Asia. The Southeast Asia Policy Dialogue represents a vital platform for regional stakeholders to come together and tackle the complexities surrounding early childhood care and education. As Indonesia leads the charge with its strong commitment to transform ECCE, the event strives to drive collective efforts and shape a brighter future for the youngest members of society. As we conclude with this theme, Southeast Asian Policy Dialogue, I'm delighted to share a significant development. During the ministerial roundtable on ECCE, we witnessed the unanimous endorsement of ASEAN's Leader Declaration on Early Childhood Care and Education in Southeast Asia. This endorsement represents a momentous step towards fostering the growth and development of our region's young minds. Our objective is to present this crucial declaration for adoption at the upcoming ASEAN Summit in September 2023. We firmly believe that this declaration will pave the way for enhanced ECCE provisions across Southeast Asia, empowering our governments to prioritize and invest in the future of our children. This event has also launched a kick-off scoping studies on ECCE in Southeast Asia. After the pandemic, we believe that there is a need to map the landscape of ECCE in the region so that we can develop evidence-based policy. Before I conclude, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the ASEAN Secretariat, Indonesia Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology, Siamio CISEP, Tanodo Foundation, and ARNEC for their relentless efforts in making this event possible. Additionally, I express my sincerest appreciation to UNESCO and UNICEF for their unwavering support throughout this journey. Together, let us forge a path of promise and possibility for the future generations of our Southeast Asia and beyond through the power of early childhood care and education, making the way for ASEAN as the epicenter of growth. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom. Om Santi 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 Om. Rahayu.
Good afternoon. We are very grateful to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology for organizing the conference and policy dialogue on ECCE together with ASEAN Secretariat, Siamio CISEP, Tanodo Foundation, and the Asia Pacific Regional Network for Early Childhood, ARNEC. This important conference and policy dialogue is the first follow-up activity in the Asia Pacific region to the World Conference on Early Childhood Care and Education 2022, which took place in November in Tashkent last year. The World Conference was the first high-level intergovernmental education event following the Transforming Education Summit held in September 2022 in New York, and an integral part of the efforts to mobilize political commitment at the highest level for education transformation. The World Conference on ECCE was attended by 155 member states, including 6 ASEAN member states, and resulted in the unanimous adoption of the Tashkent Declaration and commitments to action for transforming early childhood care and education by all participating member states. The declaration reaffirmed the global commitment to the rights of all children to pre-primary education and a further call for greater attention to the environmental education to ensure that awareness of climate change and sustainable development starts in the early years. By adopting the Tashkent Declaration, member states pledged to undertake key actions toward a comprehensive and inclusive approach for young children through involvement of all relevant actors, including governments, civil society organizations, international organizations, the private sector, and communities. Aside from the Tashkent Declaration, UNESCO member states made solid commitments throughout 2022 at the World Conference on Higher Education in Barcelona, Confintea 7, the Adult Education Conference in Marrakesh, Morocco, and the Transforming Education Summit in New York. All these commitments aim to ensure that we fulfill our promise of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030. During this policy dialogue, I was able to witness the high interest and commitment of Southeast Asian countries and key partners in accelerating children's access and high-quality inclusive ECCE. The ASEAN Leaders Declaration on ECCE in Southeast Asia is a powerful and landmark document which signals the Southeast Asian countries' strong leadership to translate their Tashkent commitment to invest at least appropriate adequate percentage of total education spending on ECCE and to ensure that salaries and working conditions of preschool personnel are at least at par with those primary education teachers, and to guarantee at least 1 year of pre-primary education for all, as stipulated in SDG 4.2, and progressively increase ECCE provision, prioritizing inclusion and gender equality by providing equitable and adaptive support to the most vulnerable and marginalized children. I'm very confident that the policymakers will be placing their full attention to solving the remaining challenges in ECCE, such as fragmented policies, limited regulation, and coordination of ECC providers, insufficient public provision, and chronic underfunding. UNESCO stands ready to work with all its partners and member states in the development of the roadmap to operationalize the ASEAN Leaders Declaration in advancing the ECC agenda in this region. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.
as we reach the end of the Southeast Asia Regional Policy Dialogue on Early Childhood Care and Education, and seeing the unanimous support from ASEAN Ministers of Education endorsing the ASEAN Leaders' Declaration on Early Childhood Care and Education in Southeast Asia, I have seen significant support from ASEAN education sector and partners towards advancing the ECC agenda in the region and contributing to its further development in the global fora. This important document signifies the first key regional follow-up on the Tashkent Declaration, and also signifies the strong multi-stakeholder approach that ASEAN has been undertaking to enhance and coordinate efforts to make education, transform education, and make it more inclusive, including in early childhood care and education. We look forward to continued support and further strengthening our collaboration and enhancing ECCE in the region. We also call for enhanced collaboration across different sectors, including the private sector, international organizations, and member states from ASEAN and beyond, to work together in making the world better by putting significant focus on early childhood care and education. Terima kasih. Thank you very much.